Everyone, LeBron James is 38 years old and is playing insane. He's playing like he is 28 years old and is still proving to be one of the best players in the world, even at the ripe old age of 38. And the Lakers have really seemed to have turned a corner, right? I mean, they're playing really good basketball. Rough start to the beginning of the season, little rocky. Things weren't looking very good at all. Anthony Davis, all of a sudden, turns into the best player on the planet. LeBron James is still doing LeBron James things. He's also been trusting his teammates more. In the beginning of the season, it just seemed off for him, right? Holding the ball a lot, kind of just not playing within the flow, jacking up, 10 threes a game. It just wasn't looking good. It wasn't a good look at all. But since then, LeBron has even turned his play around, right? He's been more aggressive. He's been more physical. He's been driving and getting to the basket. He's shooting better. He's trusting teammates more and getting the assist totals up and also just putting on displays of just greatness still. And it's been so impressive to see. And the Lakers currently, at the time of recording this video, are tied in a three-way tie with the Timberwolves and the Jazz for the potential 10th seed, which would be a play-in spot. But they're also only a game and a half out of the 6th seed and 2 games out of the 5th seed. So they're right there, right? They're right around the corner. Anthony Davis should be returning relatively soon. Now, their schedule does toughen up, but I do think that those are winnable games the way that we've been playing. We've been playing very good basketball as of late. And the big question is a trade, right? Are the Lakers going to do a trade? Are we going to get something done? You got LeBron James still playing like a top, 10 player in the league. You got Anthony Davis when he comes back, if he can regain what he did before injury, arguably the best player in the league. You got Russell Westbrook, who is operating as like a super six man right now. The guy is absolutely killing it. His playmaking and assist totals, he's starting to put together, it seems like, the scoring with the assists. And he's just greatly improved so much as of late as well. And LeBron James is increasingly seeming to get more outspoken about the desire for a trade and an upgrade to the roster. Now, the Lakers don't need much. They really don't. I think you get a solid player or two, starting level player or two. I think this team is right there, and they're off to the races, competing potentially for a championship this year. Currently, as constructed, I still like our chances in the West, but I still worry about, I don't think we're a top 5 team in the league, is in my opinion, which means I don't think that we're a contender. But the right piece or two, I think we're right there. If we did stand pat and we get into the playoffs, we still have LeBron James, Anthony Davis, and Russell Westbrook. So I trust those 3 to get the job done. And so it wouldn't be so unfathomable that the Lakers walk away with this season with some hardware. But they have to continue this uphill battle because of their early lack of success. And LeBron James is continuing to play productive. And he's like, dude, I'm playing like I'm still one of the best players on the planet. Anthony Davis and me have shown we can win a championship together. Anthony Davis is coming into his zone. Russell Westbrook is playing great. Go make a move. Yes, you have cap space next season, but who are you going to get? You only have 30 to 32 million in cap space. After you're not going to be able to re-sign anybody. And on top of re-signing anybody, you're going to go get Miles Turner or like Gary Trent Jr. And then there's all our cap space. And now it's me, Gary Trent Jr. and Anthony Davis with a bunch of vet minimum guys. No, go get a trade now that gets us pieces for now and the future. But to kind of put things more in perspective, which I do understand LeBron's frustrations, although he did kind of clarify some of the things. But this all stemmed from a Sam Amick report from The Athletic. LeBron James to The Athletic on the Lakers roster plans. Y'all know what should be happening, which was in regards to the roster and potential trades with this team. Now, LeBron James did a sort of interview with The Athletic and was asked several questions. And in that, LeBron James talks about the team and just the current structure and then is asked about trades. And he's like, what it should mean. But LeBron James said that this is kind of put and taken out of context, that based on what they actually have a conversation about and what actually was relayed is completely different. So LeBron James says, hey, Sam, Actually, my patience isn't waning. You make it sound like I'm frustrated when I'm really not. I told you over and over, my job is to focus on the guys in the locker room. My job isn't the roster. That's the reality of that conversation. And I said what I said with the utmost respect and calmness, because that's the mood I'm in. You're welcome. 5-game winning streak. LeBron James is basically talking, look, I am okay with the roster. My job isn't to worry about trades, right? If they're going to do a trade, they're going to do a trade. But come on, okay? This is now the third time LeBron has said something that alludes to trades. We know how LeBron operates. We know what LeBron wants. But to also further add, before we dive into that a little bit more, multiple teams, based on a report, multiple teams are preparing for the possibility that LeBron James will look to force trades this summer. So LeBron James cannot be traded this season. He just can't. But in the offseason, during the summer, LeBron James could request a trade, and it's not out of the realm of possibility if the Lakers don't do anything. And apparently, based on the report, which dives into, several teams around the league are kind of seeing if they want to make a play at LeBron James, which, if I'm being honest, I don't really see many teams putting their hat in the ring for LeBron James. Not many teams have $50 million in cap space that they can move off of and without blowing up their roster. And it has to be a trade that makes sense for the Lakers. Like, the Lakers aren't going to take Kyle Lowry and Duncan Robinson, to trade LeBron James. Like, it doesn't make any sense to them. I still feel a little iffy on the trading of LeBron James. Maybe some team would take a chance at some point, but I don't see it personally. I think LeBron's going to ride it out with the Lakers at least next season, because then the following season he can opt out and then go sign wherever he wants. But we'll see. In the meantime, the Lakers have a matter at hand, which is to do something in order to get this team better. And I do think this team is right there. And LeBron has repeatedly shown his frustration for lack of trade, for lack of upgrades to the roster. He believes and wants a trade. Now, he says, hey, it's not that. Like, my focus is this. I'm expressing what, I think, blah, blah, blah. But it's clear. It's clear. He's making it obvious. He's sending a message to the front office of get a trade done. Like, we need a move here. We need something, which I agree, I do. Now, a lot of people are like, F them picks. And to an extent, I do agree, right? You don't want to just trade the picks just to trade the picks, though, right? You're not just giving the picks away like it's nothing. I understand, and I do agree that it's 5 years plus from now, right? And who knows between now and then? They are the Los Angeles Lakers. Other stars, other players are eventually going to want to come back. And it's not like we don't have any draft picks. So I do, to an extent, understand the F them picks. You have a real opportunity, especially in the wide open West, to actually compete and go for a championship. And that's what the Lakers do, right? It's championship or bust. That's been the Lakers' sort of mantra since the existence of the team. So show it, prove it. Here's your chance. You have these two assets that you can move and trade off of to go get us a piece or two. Go do that, right? We don't need another superstar. We don't need anything like that. We need a piece that could come in and actually contribute, right? And starting level guys. If we can get like 2 starting level guys, then that allows guys like Walker and like Reeves and Troy Brown and guys like that, like our starters, to fade into the bench lineup. And now those guys get that same type of production off the bench rather than starting level. And now we have starting level guys, and we have guys that have experience, like, a Bojan Bogdanovic, or if they could do, some iteration of the Spurs deal, or, whatever, go get something, right? Any type of trade. Name your pick of all the trades that have been rumored. And as we get closer to the trade deadline, I imagine more will ramp up. The problem is that Rob Pelinka can't just rush a trade, right? We're still weeks away from the trade deadline. Teams are still trying to figure it out. Teams are still trying to, decide what do they want to do. You got teams that are on the play-in, and they're like, well, do we want to be a play-in team or do we not? Because of the play-in, it gives more teams an opportunity to maybe get into the playoffs rather than otherwise. So some teams might actually say, okay, well, I think we're good enough to beat the other 2 teams in the play-in. So I think we could end up making the playoffs, something like that. You get teams. Teams are still trying to figure it out because we're still a month away from the trade deadline. But within the next month, I imagine trade speculation is going to continue to ramp up. I imagine that, the Lakers and other teams could come out of the woodworks. I mean, there's even teams like, Toronto has been mentioned. That's a newer team. Orlando, they're a team that could get in the mix of stuff. Chicago is a team that, like, hey, they might blow stuff up. So I don't know. We will see how it plays out. But I do understand LeBron's frustration. He's looking at it as like, dude, without AD, I'm able to keep this team afloat. I'm able to keep this team alive just by myself with Russell Westbrook, right? And if we get AD and we go get another piece, imagine what we could do, right? We beaten the Bucks. We probably should have beaten the Celtics, right? We are a team. I am him, right? I am the guy that is still here, that is still playing at an elite level. I understand that maybe you had some concerns. Well, I just showed you that there are no such concerns, that I am that guy. And LeBron James wants to win, which I understand. He's still playing at an unprecedented level. We've never seen anything like this ever. And he is doing this. Like that is it's remarkable. The athleticism, the skill set, the ability to just still be great. I mean, he's not just playing basketball. He's not Vince Carter out there, in his 40s. No, he's still playing like LeBron James at 10 seasons ago. He's not the defensive, juggernaut that he once was, but he's still serviceable, and we've seen him be able to play defense. You bring Anthony Davis back, this team is off to the races, right? It is very possible, but that by the end of the night, at the time of recording this, at the end of the night, the Lakers could be in the play-in. Like literally could be in the play-in based on how it's shaping up right now with this. If the Grizzlies beat the Jazz and the Rockets beat the Timberwolves, which both teams are up. The Rockets are up 14, and then the Grizzlies-Jazz game is a tight game, but Grizzlies are up by 1. Again, at the time of recording this video, if those two teams lose, the Lakers are in the play-in. And now, if they can go and beat Denver, now they got a whole game lead on the play-in, and Anthony Davis is right around the corner. So the Lakers are there, and LeBron James is looking at it as like, we are there. So hopefully this ends up happening and the Lakers make a trade. I don't think they make a huge home run trade. Like, I don't think they're going to trade Russ because I just don't think other teams, I think Russ is still too valuable for the Lakers, and other teams don't value Russ the way that the Lakers do because those teams don't want to play Russ. They want Russ just for the expiring contract and the assets from the Lakers. So I don't think they're going to trade Russ, but I do think Patrick Beverley, Kendrick Nunn, maybe Lonnie Walker, Damian Jones, JTA, like all of those guys, I really think could be out the door this coming season. But we'll see. Anyway, as always, this is a discussion, so I pass the question on to you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. Do you think the Lakers should do a trade? Do you think they shouldn't? However you feel, what do you think about LeBron? Love to hear it. Let me know down in the comments.